We are celebrating 30 years of storytelling on Sports Plus, our favorite stories of all time. And since it's the football season, we thought we would stay in that field. One of our all-time favorites was former Cardinal quarterback Jim Hart. In a tribute to the decade of the 70s, we named Jim our Athlete of the Decade. Let's go back in time. A kid with a crew cut from Carbondale became one of the NFL's greats.
There are many times that I don't even, I have to think about, was that really me? You guys show some things on Sunday night and I'll go, it doesn't even, sometimes I don't even feel like that was me. Was that me doing that?
I've been around the National Football League now for 30 plus years, and I'll tell you this, Jim Hart and his ability to throw the football, his raw power in his passing arm, certainly in the top 10 quarterbacks that ever played the game of professional football, and maybe in the top 5.
But a funny thing happened to Jim Hart on his way to football superstardom. He almost didn't get there. The only reason Hart made the team in 1966 was because Uncle Sam came calling for another rookie quarterback named Gary Snook.
He was told to come down here to St. Louis. We were training in Chicago to be inducted in the Army Reserve. And he missed that physical the next morning for whatever reason and was drafted in the regular Army within 10 days. I mean, less than 2 weeks, he was gone. And that left me.
A year later, Hart donned the cover of Sports Illustrated after throwing for 3,000 yards in 1967. But the next 5 years were a roller coaster for Jim. Things changed, however, when this man, Don Coryell, showed up in St. Louis. The best thing to happen to Jim Hart was Don Coryell. In 1973, when Coryell arrived in St. Louis, Jim Hart was a backup quarterback without a promising future. But Coryell looked at tape of Jim earlier in his career and fell in love with his right arm. And he promptly said, Jim Hart will be our quarterback.
It took Don Coryell, I would say, probably 10 seconds to realize what a talent Jim Hart was.
He was like down to the third string quarterback, but we looked at films of the preceding year and we saw number 17 playing some, and it just blew Don's mind that, hey, this guy was not playing all the time.
Under Coryell, Jim became the heart of the Cardinals. 4 straight Pro Bowls, 3 straight years of 10 or more wins, and 1 year, 1974, he was the MVP of the NFC. No defense wanted to play against Coryell's cardiac Cardinals and Jim Hart's right arm.
This guy probably the quickest release I ever played against a guy, you know, because the offensive line was pretty good, but what made him even better was by the time he got there, the ball was gone.
I can remember his actions. You know, we're going to do this, and kind of like John Madden, the way he describes things. And that was Don. We're going to do this and dump it off here, and we're going to, and then we're going to go along to Mel.
Everything clicked for Hart. In addition to the play calling and the weapons, he had that offensive line, a line that in 1975 allowed Hart to be sacked only 6 times.
The reason that Jim walks so well is the reason I can't walk at all.
When Hart finished his career, he was 3rd in NFL history in passes attempted, completed, and total yards.
I don't think you could find anybody that would ever have a bad word to say about Jim Hart. He's a good husband, he's a good father, he's just a nice guy who just happened to be one hell of a quarterback.
And our Athlete of the Decade, Frank Cusimano, Sports Plus. Spoke with Jim today. He's 78 and playing golf once a week in Naples, Florida. He's a father, grandfather, and now a great-grandfather. He beat cancer a few years ago. He's had 3 different surgeries, each on his knees, hips, and back. The only part of his body that hasn't been cut on is that right arm. That magical right arm, after all those throws, is still just fine.